There are several game modes within FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, and if you do want to build up your coin balance and build to really an amazing team, you really can just select one or two of them and consistently go through them every single week. Eventually, you will be able to progress to your dream team. But if you do want to take it a step further and actually go through as many different game modes whilst also being the most efficient player as possible in terms of how much game time you put in compared to how many rewards you're able to get, then this is the way to do it. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins, then there is no better place than AOA. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 23 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic at checkout, you also get yourself a 3% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. With Ultimate Team nowadays, it can somewhat be overwhelming with all the different things that you can do. There are so many different game modes, as well as SBCs, as well as different types of objectives and challenges on a weekly basis that really there becomes quite a lot. Way too much for you to be able to do everything at once unless you dedicate the majority of your time. If you find yourself in that position while still wanting to get the best possible rewards, which will eventually build to you having the best possible Ultimate Team, you can take advantage of all of these game modes whilst only playing a limited amount of time. So let's actually go through this. Firstly, your week should start off by going through division rivals. In this game mode, you would either need to have 3 wins to qualify for rewards on a weekly basis, but you can increase your reward by getting 8 wins. Really, there's only a few reasons why you should be going through this game mode. Firstly, to actually claim your weekly reward, which is the 3 to 8 wins. The second reason, to build up your qualification points for FUT Champions. The third reason, to meet your seasonal rewards for the amount of games you're playing. If you've currently done that or you're on track to do it by the time the season finishes, you're pretty much done with this game mode. It's actually pointless for you to continue playing. You can carry on going through the game mode, and the only way that you're going to increase your reward is by going up a division. But every other win on top of this, it does nothing for your total rewards. So it makes sense for you to achieve those goals. Get the weekly amount of wins that you need to get, make sure that you've got 1,250 qualification points, and make sure that you are on track to meet your season rewards for the season. If all of those boxes are checked, this is where we go to the next game mode. And the next game mode, of course, is FUT Champions. FUT Champions offers the best rewards within the game and is broken down into 2 parts. What's really good about this is that you can claim the rewards immediately as soon as they've been completed. So the first part is that you need to go for the Champions playoffs. You will need to get at least 20 points. You have 10 games to do it. For every game that you win, you're rewarded with 4 points. For every game that you lose, you're rewarded with 1 point. So you would either need to get 4 wins and 4 losses, or you will need to get 5 wins and then just quit. Of course, if you're a good, confident player, you can carry on going through this. You can proceed to the higher levels, which will give you better rewards. But for this video, we're talking about going through this with the least amount of games. So you're dedicating the smallest amount of time, but you're still able to maximize your rewards. This is the most efficient way to play FUT 23. And for that, you need to meet your goal of getting 20 points, no matter how you do it, and then you just quit. You can forfeit the rest of your games, which will allow you to qualify for the Weekend League, plus you'll also be able to claim your FUT Champion playoff rewards. When the Weekend League officially opens on Friday, this is when you have a choice of how you want to go through this. This is where you're going to be able to get the best rewards within the game. You have 20 games in total, and similar to the Champions playoffs, you'll get 4 points for a win and 1 point for a loss. This does mean that you are rewarded for losing. So with that in mind, your first option is that you can forfeit all 20 games. Now, it's unlikely that you will lose all 20 games because it's based on a matchmaking system. You're most likely going to be matched up against other players who have a similar record or a similar skill rating to you. So the second you forfeit 5 games in a row, if you lose all 5, it's likely that you're coming up to other players who have lost all 5. And they may even be doing the exact same thing as you, which is scoring an own goal and then quitting the game. We even went through this here on this channel, and at the end of the Weekend League, I managed to end on 36 points, I believe it was, which was enough to give me a better reward than if I was just to go and lose all 20 games. It's still not an amazing record, but it did only take me 40 minutes to go through FUT Champions, and let's just say my reward was better than what I initially intended to achieve. The second option is that you can sit down and play all 20. This is going to be a long time going through. as you would expect, each game being 15 to 20 minutes and being 20 games in total, but it does mean that you will have a higher chance of getting something good. And third option is that you take a hybrid approach, which is you forfeit some, you play some. I've actually been taking advantage of that matchmaking system that we just mentioned, where for the first 5 games, I would forfeit. That means my 6th game, I'm either coming up to someone that isn't that good, someone that's doing the exact same method as me, or someone that is intending to forfeit all 20 of their matches. That normally leads for the next 5 games that I play being easy games for me to win and play. I should have a 5-5 record at that point. The final 10 games, it really comes down to how I'm feeling on the day. If I feel like I'm playing well, gameplay is nice to actually go through, and I'm having fun, I'll probably play those final 10 games. Whereas if it's the complete opposite, I'll probably forfeit. Really, in this area, the choice is entirely up to you. It comes down to the time that you have and what you actually want to dedicate to the game. But no matter where you finish, you're probably going to get a pretty decent reward. And it just comes down to luck whether or not the player picks you have is actually going to select a good player from the team of the week. There's been players out there that get the worst possible reward but still get a really good player within their player picks, whereas on the other end, there's people out there that get the best possible rewards, and then once they open, they get some of the worst player picks in the game. This is because it all comes down to chance, and at the end of the day, the reward that it actually says that it's giving you doesn't really matter. It just comes down to if you're lucky at the time of opening the pack. Once FUT Champions is done, this is where a lot of people make the mistake of going back into division rivals when they've already played the maximum amount of games for that week. That is not worth doing. You are not adding anything extra unless you do need the games, as we've already previously mentioned. This is where you need to go into the next game mode. This is squad battles. Squad battles is incredibly easy to go through. It's actually very tedious considering you are playing against the AI. You'll select the difficulty and it's much longer games. But if you do want to maximize your rewards, this is really what you should be going through. Now, for most players, considering we've talked about going through division rivals, the Champions playoffs, and the weekend league, at this point for most, it's only going to be a couple games here or there going through squad battles. That's perfectly fine. I understand that you have busy lifestyles, there's a lot of things to do, and you don't want to sit around every single day playing FIFA. So for most of you, once you get to this point, you're probably only going to be playing a few extra games until the week starts over again. This is where you'll go into division rivals, where you need to go and get your 3 to 8 wins. You'll need to go and get your qualification points if you had a low tier reward when going through the weekend league, because the weekend league does give you qualification points, but it may not pay every single qualification point that you need back. It might give you 750. So you'll need to build up again until you get to 1250. And then you just need to keep this cycle going. Division rivals, FUT Champions, and squad battles, and those are the main game modes you need to play. But if you are someone that is dedicating a hell of a lot of time to FIFA in general, you can go through division rivals, FUT Champions, squad battles, and you still have time left over. Well, there's 2 other game modes, and it comes down to choice of whether or not you're going to go through them. This is draft or FUT moments. With draft, if you're a good player, you can go into online draft. It's going to cost you 15,000 coins to enter. You build your team, play against other players, but it is incredibly sweaty. It's not uncommon for you to come up to other players who get a very lucky goal early on within FIFA and then just pass it round the back for the remaining 80 to 90 minutes. For the games that I play within an online draft, it seems way more competitive than going through division games or even FUT Champion games. It's just on a whole nother level because people have to enter 15,000 coins at the beginning. For me, I don't enjoy that game mode anymore. I can win games within it, but I just don't enjoy it the way that I used to. So if I was to go through this, I would go into a single player draft instead. The exact same thing, except I choose the difficulty, play against AI, and it's just pretty much like I'm playing another squad battles match. And you would keep on entering FUT draft until that week starts over again, in which it makes sense to then go back into division rivals. With FUT moments, the newest game mode added to FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, I actually like it. I think it's a pretty decent game mode, and when you do have a few spare minutes here or there, not enough to actually play a full match in FIFA, but enough to actually go through one of these moments, is definitely worth doing. But the reason that it's at the bottom of this list as one of the last things that you should do is because the rewards themselves, they're not great. I found that it's a lot easier to build up my FUT stars compared to actually using those FUT stars for rewards. You can get some good ones towards the end, which requires you to have anywhere between 40 to 60 FUT stars, but unfortunately you're only able to open these once or even twice per season. So if you do go through this quite a bit, unfortunately you're going to go through moments, you're going to build up your FUT stars and you're going to claim these rewards way quicker than it actually takes for EA to update them, which is done every season. So the only rewards that I currently have available within this game mode is if I was to go and claim contract packs or go through and get a draft token reward, none of which I particularly want to do. So this is a good game mode to go through, but only at the beginning of a new season. Any other FUT stars that you manage to build up can be used for next season, and then you don't really need to play any of those moments because you've already claimed the reward. You need to wait until the following season where it's updated again. And it's really not difficult for you to get ahead on this game mode, and you cannot use those FUT stars for anything else other than that actual store. This is why it's probably one of the last game modes that you should be going to. But anyway guys, this is the most efficient way in which you should be playing Ultimate Team for the game modes that are available within FUT. Division Rival should be your priority, as that's what's there that can unlock other game modes, and the barrier to entry for you to actually get rewards is incredibly low. 3 wins, 8 wins, or with your milestones, literally you just need to play games. FUT Champions is there for you to get the best rewards within the game, and you don't even need to play them if you really want to be efficient about it. You can forfeit the majority of your games within the weekend league, and you can forfeit half your games in the playoffs as long as you can win the other half. And then for any other time that you have during the week, it's worth going through squad battles and then draft and then FUT moments. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.